Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some really cool spice in the Johto Cup, SUNFLORA. These battles were submitted by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. SUNFLORA is a pure grass-type Pokemon with the moveset of Bullet Seed, Sludge Bomb, and Leaf Storm. So it does only have new charge moves, but with Bullet Seed, it does generate energy pretty quickly. And this trainer does go on a very nice run with this spice pick back up to legend rank. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out SUNFLORA in action. Hopping to the first match, leading SUNFLORA into Magcargo. This is not the greatest lead ever. Incinerates, of course, are hitting for super effective damage, but SUNFLORA is staying in and going for the Leaf Storm. Does Magcargo respect the Leaf Storm? They do not! And Leaf Storm almost one-shots the Magcargo. Oh my goodness. They will shield up the Stone Edge, and it's a simultaneous save switch. Shadow Politoed into Qwilfish. Qwilfish throws the Aqua Tail, which means they're probably just running Ice Beam instead of Sludge Wave, which does make this a better matchup for the Shadow Politoed. Going for the Weather Ball, it's resisted, but Qwilfish is exceedingly glassy, and this next Weather Ball should just about KO, but the Qwilfish is able to live on 1 HP. Thankfully, again, should just be the Aqua Tail, so they are able to survive and Mudshot down. We know there's the low health Magcargo in the back, so they bring in the third, and it is a Jumpluff. No time for baiting here, going straight for the Blizzard. Blizzard gets the shield, they swap back into the Jumpluff, opponent brings in Magcargo, but all that does is give extra farm to SUNFLORA. And now SUNFLORA is going to start launching Sludge Bombs at the Jumpluff, and that does a significant amount of damage, even against a very bulky Pokemon like Jumpluff. Jumpluff goes for the Energy Ball. That makes sense. Honestly, at this range, Energy Ball is going to be KOing anyway. Unfortunately, they are going to be able to get outpaced here, as this Jumpluff is going to be able to reach an Energy Ball before they reach Sludge Bomb number 3, and now it's going to be up to Lantern to try and clutch this, but Lantern is an exceedingly bulky Pokemon. It should be able to tank an Energy Ball, no problem, so you bring in Lantern, and you're just going to be able to absorb this energy. That is totally fine. And then Lantern should be able to reach the Thunderbolt. The opponent has no remaining Pokemon to try and catch, but they're able to make a very nice catch anyway. Going for a little bit of style with the victory. Able to catch. Oh no, they're going for the Disrespect Hydro Pump. Say it ain't so. Able to take out the Jumpluff, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading SUNFLORA into Shadow Raikou. This is a fantastic lead. The opponent safe switches into Steelix, and they are instantly countered with Shadow Politoed. Shadow Politoed charges energy incredibly quickly, as they are already almost at 100 energy. First Weather Ball almost takes that Steelix into the red, but Steelix will be able to fire back with a crunch. Shadow Politoed, not the tankiest thing ever, so they do commit the shield. I'm guessing the Steelix is just going to take the shield advantage here, because if that Shadow Raikou is able to farm down, Shadow Raikou with an energy lead and shield advantage is incredibly deadly. Unfortunately, that Shadow Raikou is able to sneak through a Volt Switch. That will take them out, but they decide to defer the Volt Switch, they give up Switch, and they bring in SUNFLORA, and the final Pokemon is revealed to be Jumpluff. Thankfully, SUNFLORA is able to hit back for super effective damage with these Sludge Bombs against that Jumpluff, but giving up Switch means that you're not going to have the SUNFLORA aligned against the Raikou in the endgame, and that could be very, very difficult. They actually decide to let the SUNFLORA go down, since that Shadow Raikou does have a move, and in comes the Lantern. Unfortunately, again, can't really shield here. That Shadow Raikou does have a move. They are going to be able to reach a Thunderbolt, which is great, but this is going to be tough. The question is, will a Weather Ball from Shadow Politoed KO the Shadow Raikou? Trying to do as much spark damage as they can. Moment of truth. Does this Weather Ball KO? I think it's going to come up short. Weather Ball just does not KO, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading SUNFLORA into Meganium. This is a fantastic lead, and exactly where you want to see a Grass type on this team. SUNFLORA is easily going to be able to survive the Resisted Frenzy plant, and then they're going to be able to hit back hard with these super effective Sludge Bombs, as even though Meganium is quite tanky, this should get that Meganium quite low, as it's almost able to take them into red health. Going for Sludge Bomb number 2, the game freezes, and then eventually decides to give them that second Sludge Bomb, and they're able to take out Meganium. Opponent brings in Qwilfish, they save switch into Shadow Politoed, and they're met with Lantern. This Politoed does not have Earthquake, but they can fake like they do. They build up to it, and they're able to force a shield from the Lantern. That's fantastic. And they're actually opting to shield here. So maybe hoping to try and get that second shield. They build up to what would be an Earthquake. Can they grab the second shield? But the opponent does not fall for it. At this point, the opponent must know that they don't have Earthquake, so from here, you just spam out as many Weather Balls as you can, just to try and get this Lantern as low as possible with resisted damage. Able to get off yet another Weather Ball, that gets the Lantern deep into the red, and Lantern is forced to throw. At this point, you can probably just bring in your own Lantern to farm down once this KOs, and you should be in a pretty decent spot. They bring in the SUNFLORA, in comes the Qwilfish, and now in comes Lantern. And Lantern is in a commanding position. Do they have Sludge Wave? They go for the Aqua Tail. It looks like we have found another Ice Beam Qwilfish, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading SUNFLORA into Shadow Quagsire, the dream lead. The opponent throws a Mud Shot, and then they save switch into Umbreon. Unfortunately, this team doesn't have a great response to an Umbreon save switch, so they are going to stay in, tank a move, and then fire off that Leaf Storm, as this will be doing big damage if it lands, which it does, and now they can safely bring in the Shadow Politoed, since Shadow Politoed will have a guaranteed good matchup here. They can tank the Foul Play. Foul Play will do a solid chunk of damage. As I mentioned earlier, Shadow Politoed, very effective at spamming out charge moves, but definitely not the tankiest Pokemon ever. They overfarm as much as possible, and they throw just as Umbreon reaches the Foul Play. This Weather Ball does take out the Umbreon, and back in comes the Shadow Quagsire. But the nice thing is that with Mud Shot, Shadow Quagsire is not going to be able to farm down. They'll have to throw energy, and that Weather Ball did massive damage onto the Quagsire. They are letting the Shadow Politoed go down. Stone Edge takes them out, waiting the clock because the switch clocks were misaligned, and then they bring back in the SUNFLORA, and the final Pokemon is revealed to be Qwilfish. This is just an Aqua Tail, but this will still get that SUNFLORA pretty low. SUNFLORA is able to reach a move. They go for the Sludge Bomb. It's going to be shielded anyway. It does get the shield, and now it's all up to Lantern. Letting that SUNFLORA get so low is a problem because that Quagsire still has a decent amount of health in the back. Thunderbolt takes out the Qwilfish. Back in comes that Shadow Quagsire. Is the Shadow Quagsire going to be able to get to 3 moves before Lantern gets to the 2 Thunderbolts? Quagsire only has nukes, so Lantern should be in a pretty decent spot here. Going for Thunderbolt number 1, and then it's going to be a race. Can they get to Thunderbolt number 2? Quagsire able to reach the second move. They decide to call it. It is not the Earthquake. Stone Edge does not KO, and they're able to reach the Thunderbolt, which will take out the Shadow Quagsire, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading SUNFLORA into Meganium. We saw how this played out in that earlier match, and this is a fantastic lead. As with Bullet Seed, SUNFLORA charges these Sludge Bombs incredibly quickly. They overfarm quite a bit, but so is the Meganium. Meganium potentially recognizing that energy could be more useful later in the match. In comes a shiny Magcargo, but in comes Shadow Politoed to meet it. And these Weather Balls are going to absolutely crush Magcargo as they do let it go down. But Shadow Politoed is not done. They're able to reach another Weather Ball to apply some pressure onto the Meganium. This does not KO, and Meganium reaches a move. Here the footage cuts out for some reason, but then it cuts back in to Shadow Politoed getting absolutely destroyed by the Frenzy Plant. SUNFLORA will easily survive Frenzy Plant number 2. The question is, what is that final Pokemon as they're able to Bullet Seed down? And it's a Piloswine. They are going for the Sludge Bomb bait. They do get the shield, and they're trying to go for it. They're going for another Sludge Bomb. I think the Piloswine honestly might call it here. They don't shield. In comes Lantern, and the opponent concedes the match. Hopping to the next match, leading SUNFLORA into Quagsire. Incredibly dominant lead. They'll be switching out right away, and they bring in Umbreon. Interestingly enough, not the first time in this video we've seen that Umbreon Quagsire core, so appears to be a fairly common pairing. Same strategy as last time, landing the Leaf Storm, but this time able to make a very nice catch onto the bulkier Lantern to absorb Umbreon's energy. That is quite nice. Lantern will be able to tank this energy no problem, and then since that Umbreon is low enough, a Hydro Pump should be enough to take them out from this range, no problem. But instead they opt to go for a Thunderbolt, and I don't think this is quite Thunderbolt range. They go for the Thunderbolt, but they are able to get the shield from Umbreon. Umbreon potentially looking to make a play for switch advantage, but they're going to have to commit both shields if they want to do so, because that foul play does not KO, and now they are definitely in Thunderbolt range. Lantern gets the second shield, and then recognizing they were losing switch advantage anyway, decides to aggressively switch in Politoed. Now they're able to get ahead on energy with the Politoed, and they've saved that Lantern for a potential sack swap later in the match. Down goes Umbreon with the Weather Ball, and back in comes Quagsire. Politoed charging up these Weather Balls incredibly quickly, and they throw on what I believe should be a CMP tie. It is the Weather Ball, and Quagsire is at a move, and at this point, you have to start shielding everything on the Politoed. As you have 2 shields, you have to start using them at some point. They're going to be going for the Weather Ball. This will not KO, but it will start to get that Quagsire very, very low, not taking any chances of tanking a second move. They're going for that second Weather Ball to get the KO. What is in the back? And it is Skarmory. So this is not good news for that Sunflora. They bring in the Sunflora basically just to sacrifice it, try and do as much damage as possible with the Leaf Storm, and that double resisted Leaf Storm does not do a lot of damage, but the Skarmory does decide to throw, but the Skarmory does wisely decide to undercharge that, so they are going to be able to farm down. There is shreds of Lantern left alive, and there's the Politoed. Politoed going for the Blizzard. Blizzard I don't think will be enough to KO. Gets them very low. Can the Lantern take it out? Yes, it can. And that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Sunflora into Shadow Granbull, and this is a very scary thing to see for this team, as this team has absolutely no charm resist. Going for the Weather Ball. Weather Ball does get the shield, and then the opponent brings in Lantern for the aggressive Spark Down. They don't have Earthquake, but they build up to what could be an Earthquake. They need to force the second shield. But the opponent calls it. Oh, that is not good. The opponent calls the bluff, saying they don't have Earthquake, and the opponent guesses correctly, and that is not ideal. It's going to be very tough, but maybe do you try and commit to the aggressive Bullet Seed down here with Sunflora? At the very least, you resist all of Lantern's charge moves, and if you can leave with 2 charge moves yourself, then you can at the very least take out the Granbull and see whatever's in the back. They are farming up to 2, and they're opting to throw. I'm not sure about this decision because the Lantern is going to take a lot of charm damage. Able to take them out. This will force the shield off the Granbull, but you're going to have to switch, and you have to hope that Lantern has a good matchup in the back, but it's a Quagsire in the back, and this is looking like this may not be a winnable game. At this point, I think you just have to call that they're doing a Stone Edge, but they go for the Earthquake. Oh no, that is not good at all, and unfortunately, I just don't see a win con in this particular moment, as they're not going to be able to get to a Leaf Storm to KO, and get to a Sludge Bomb, as Quagsire will be able to reach the move just before they reach 100 energy. You can't hold a Leaf Storm and a Sludge Bomb, and that is a good game. Hopping to the final match, leading Sunflora into Crobat, absolute nightmare lead. Going to instantly save switch into the Shadow Politoed, and the Crobat is not swapping out as they want to debuff that Politoed before they do so. Poison Fang lands, debuffing the defense, Crobat farms up, and then they bring in Steelix. The fact that they're bringing in Steelix probably means that they are weak in the back to water, so hopefully Politoed will be able to reach this third Weather Ball and get shield advantage so that way Lantern can sweep in the back. They are able to reach that third Weather Ball despite the defense debuff. Shadow Politoed able to put up a heck of a fight. At this point, you just have to bring in the Sunflora, basically use it as a damage sponge, and then trust in Lantern with a shield advantage to clutch out the match. They tank the crunch, they're able to farm down, back in comes Crobat, and in comes Lantern, and the Crobat is not swapping. So maybe they are weak in the back. They go for the Poison Fang, again, lowering the defense, and in comes Sudowoodo. Unfortunately, Sudowoodo does have access to counter, and that will do significant damage onto Lantern with that defense drop. They're able to force a shield with the Thunderbolt. Now the question is, can they get to the Hydro Pump before they are able to reach that second move? Lantern pushing for the Hydro Pump, but they're just not able to get there, and they're forced to commit the second shield. That is not ideal. This will take out Pseudo, but then the question is, Are they going to be able to outpace that Crobat? And I think the answer is no. Lantern trying to get to a move. They switch and they're able to catch onto Sunflora. This is going to be incredibly close. Will the Crobat be able to farm down and leave with a move? Sunflora trying to do all it can to help out. They are going for the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb does get it low. Are they at a move? They are not. Lantern able to get to the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will be taking care of the Crobat. And that is a good game. All in all, some incredibly fun battles with a rank 1 Sunflora in the Johto Cup. Sunflora, definitely not a pick I'd recommend if you're looking to climb, but it is some really fun spice, and this trainer was able to put it to very good use even at Legend rank. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible, and we have released merch. It's based on opponents seeing the writing on the wall and conceding the match. A link will be in the description. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.